Welcome to SimTour Project Episode 7, a series where I'm featuring the sim racing setups of my viewers and hoping to give you all inspiration regarding all this hobby has to offer. This episode features a whole bunch of unique and quirky setups, so make sure to press the like button if you enjoy, as it massively helps me out. And without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off strong, we have Alejandro. He's a 27-year-old law student from Spain, and it has taken him around 6 months and 3,300 euros to get everything to where it is today. He's rocking a unique looking setup with an interesting assortment of displays, including a 34-inch Lenovo ultra-wide gaming monitor on the center, a 24-inch 144Hz Dell monitor to the right, and a 60Hz 24-inch Samsung display up top. All of these sit atop a white desk with a Nextlevel racing wheel stand light holding up his Logitech G29 wheel, pedals, and driving force shifter. Talking about his shifter, it has a third-party carbon fiber knob on it, which looks pretty cool. Finally, Alejandro's unique looking seat is the white edition Diablo X-Ray gaming chair. An important thing to note is that Alejandro doesn't use this setup exclusively for sim racing, hence he uses a portable wheel stand. Probably the coolest part of this whole setup is the assortment of gaming peripherals and other miscellaneous decor he has scattered throughout, which help to give his setup a very personalized look and feel. Also, check out his crazy gaming mouse collection. To power his setup, Alejandro's got a gaming laptop with an Nvidia GeForce 1660 Ti, an Intel Core i7-9750H, and 32GB of RAM. Though it's not exclusively a sim rig per se, I love the personality given off by this whole setup. Thank you, Alejandro, for submitting. Moving on to a super clean single monitor sim rig, we have Lucas. He's a 27-year-old from Australia, and it's taken him an estimated 4,000 Australian dollars to get this setup to where it is today. Starting off with the wheelbase, Lucas is rocking the good old Fanatec CSL DD, the 8mm version to be exact, paired with the Fanatec Clubsport RS wheel rim. On both sides of that, he's got two massive Tannoy Reveal 502 speakers, with the right side speaker doubling as a mouse tray. Of course, from Australia, he's got the shifter on the left hand side, and that would be the Frex 6-speed H-pattern shifter. Down below, he's got the Team Redline Edition Houston Belt Sprint pedals, which look very nice. Holding up all of this gear, Lucas went with the GT Omega Prime cockpit paired with the GT Omega RS6 seat. He placed his chassis up against the left side of his desk, which allows it to serve as a monitor stand, while the rest of his desk can be used as a traditional work or gaming station. That's actually a very clever idea. As per his display, he's using the MSI Optics 34-inch 144Hz gaming display with a crisp 1440p resolution. Finally, powering all of this, Lucas has got a Radeon RX 6900 XT, an AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, and 32GB of RGB RAM, all housed in a Thermaltake Core P5 ATX, which is a crazy looking case. Lucas, you have a perfect example of a single monitor sim racing setup. My only suggestion to bring this up into the next level would be to spend a few hours tidying up the cables. Once you get those sorted, it'll be looking pristine, especially with all your expensive gear. Thank you, Lucas, for submitting. Moving up next, we have Sean, a 23-year-old forklift driver from Canada who has spent an estimated 3,500 Canadian dollars on everything you see on screen. His setup is relatively simple and can be a perfect example of what a beginner sim racing setup could look like. Essentially, he has a 32-inch gaming monitor on a generic desk with a smaller 27-inch display on top of that. When racing, the top monitor can be used to show telemetry information or just to have Discord and other such apps open. As per his sim racing peripherals, he's gone with the Logitech gear, with the pedals underneath up against a wall. Though Sean, you may want to sweep or pass a vacuum under there. Back up top, his Logitech shifter has had the shifter knob replaced with a real card knob, which looks pretty cool. For his audio, his headset of choice is the HyperX Cloud Alpha S, and he's also got some Edifier speakers on either side of his desk. Sean is also using a red Apevie gaming chair, which along with other motorsport themed posters and model cars lying around his room, help with the aesthetic. Years and years of dedication and passion for sim racing have also made him a very impressive driver. Just take a look. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean, for submitting. Moving on to one of the, well, not strangest, but quirkiest setups I've ever seen, we have Miko, and what makes his setup so unique is that he's using triple 4:3 aspect ratio screens.
What did he say?
The bezels are massive, the screens are probably older than me, and one of them is different from the rest, but you know, he makes it work and that's all that matters. Holding up these triple screens, he's using a freestanding triple monitor stand from SimLab, paired with the SimLab GT1 Evo aluminum profile cockpit. On it, he has a whole bunch of gear, and we'll start with the wheelbase. That would be the Thrustmaster TSXW paired with a bunch of wheels including a DIY Turn Racing GTE, an OMP Rally wheel, an AM Studio F1 rim which appears to be completely 3D printed, the Sparco P310 Alcantara wheel, and a Logitech G29 rim on a Thrustmaster wheelbase. I'm telling you, this guy's got the quirkiest rig I've ever seen. Anyways, that's just the start. Atop his wheelbase, he's got a small tablet serving as a digital dash display. On both sides of the chassis, he's got a DIY wind simulator and a DIY button box and joystick on the right hand side. Underneath those, he's got an SG Racing sequential shifter, a Logitech H-pattern shifter with a custom knob whose paint is a little worn off, and a handbrake by Ayo Logs, or however you say that. Anyway, down below he's got the now discontinued Fanatec CSL Elite load cell pedals with a bass shaker underneath the pedal plate. Talking about bass shakers, he's got another one on the brake pedal and two more underneath the seat. The seat, which I almost forgot to mention, is the Sparco R100 with an active belt tensioner for added immersion. Powering all of this, he's got an RTX 3080 Ti, Ryzen 7 5800X, and 16GB of RAM. Miko has got a very cool setup with a lot of good gear. My main recommendation would be to invest in some modern monitors, but other than that, you have a lot of solid gear. Thank you, Miko, for submitting. And finally, ending off the episode, we have Frank. He's a 16-year-old student from Canada who uses his setup to play the F1 titles as well as both the Assetto Corsas. His setup emphasizes functionality over form. With a wooden dinner table as a desk, IKEA office chair, and Logitech G29 peripherals, I reckon his setup is reminiscent of how everyone got started in this hobby. Interestingly enough, he's using a Vivo monitor arm to hold up his MSI 27-inch display. By using it on a monitor arm, he's also able to bring it up closer to the wheel. As opposed to other setups, he's got nothing behind his Logitech pedals, but he makes use of its carpet spikes to hold it in place. Frank has very much stuck to the basics, but even then, this setup still has everything needed to enjoy sim racing. With a G29, you can still be competitive on track, and I'm sure the desk and chair don't really get in the way of his performance. Honestly, most aliens you see out on track are just dudes using these types of setups. Anyways, as for his PC, he's got an RTX 2060, an AMD Ryzen 5 5600G, and 16GB of DDR4 RAM, all housed in the Fractal Design Forcus GKs. Frank, thank you for submitting and keep up the good work. And just like that, this wraps up episode 7 of SimTour Project. Make sure to comment down below which setup is your favorite, and if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, make sure to press the like button and subscribe to stay tuned. But with all that being said, thank you all for watching, stay safe, and have a fantastic rest of your day.